Last April, the Temple University Orchestra performed at the Academy of Music in Philadelphia before a packed house that included Ricardo Muti, music director for the world-renowned Philadelphia Orchestra. The concert was an unqualified success, with Maestro Muti hailing the Temple Orchestra for their musicality and high standard of playing. The excitement of the moment moved Esther Boyer Griswold, in whose honor the Esther Boyer School of Music is named, to donate money for a concert in New York. And that's how it started. The New York debut of the Temple Orchestra would turn out to be one of the university's crowning achievements, but it was a long road. The preparation, planning, and practice, the ponderous, pounding persistence for perfection. At times, it seemed endless for the students and for the artistic director, Louis Biava. In planning the concert, Maestro Biava decided against the standard repertoire of classical works. He said, New York is a cultural capital, and Temple's orchestra should not compete with the professional orchestras. Temple should perform something unique, and unique it was. Maestro Biava chose works by Mozart and Shostakovich, but then added pieces by William Bolcom and George Crumb, 20th century composers whose works are musically challenging and physically demanding. Both composers are alive and informed the university they would be attending the concert. Maestro Biava, in balancing the program, assured himself that the orchestra would make a mark on the collegiate musical scene. Bolcom's piece was a piano concerto, which meant it required a soloist. Biava and his staff selected Marc-Andre Hamelin, who earned a BA and MA in music from Temple and is pursuing his doctorate now. Hamelin is one of the few pianists in the country who has played the Bolcom concerto. The makings of a great concert were coming together. Mark talked about his future and his advice to students.
I've been doing some recording, but I would like to do much more. I feel that, I hope I'm not being pretentious or anything, but I feel I can perform a certain kind of service by recording unfamiliar and previously unrecorded works. An exposure to, as wide a range of interest as possible is going to enrich your musicianship, as I've said earlier.
For Mark and the orchestra, New York was becoming a reality. Each day brought it a little closer. Haverford College was the setting for a dress rehearsal of the Lincoln Center program. Before an enthusiastic audience, they played with a strength and determination that was top-notch. But this wasn't enough. The orchestra members were driven by something deeper. They were shooting for perfection. Maria Schneider, a flutist, reflected on the Haverford performance.
It went very well for the most part. There are some things that we'd like to do better, and I'm sure we're going to tomorrow night, but for the most part it was just really great. I mean, we make up for maybe our lack of unity with our exuberance, so, so I'm sure it's going to be great.
Mark Hamelin, whose playing was a combination of controlled thunder and elegant madness, was relaxed after his grueling concerto.
I'm actually expecting to feel quite relaxed about it, as I did today. There was really no problem with anything. I think it went very nicely. The audience was very enthusiastic, and many people told me that they actually liked the piece quite a lot.
Moments after the Haverford performance, Maestro Biava was excited, but he still had New York on his mind.
You think it went?
Wonderful, wonderful. Really, it's going to be a great concert in New York.
Everything was fantastic so far. All that was left was the big event. Next week, New York City. Reporting for Temple Update, I'm Paul Biava. It was time to say hello to the Big Apple and to the cultural capital of the world, Lincoln Center, where only the best orchestras are invited to play. And amidst this inspiring backdrop, the Temple marquee heralding the arrival and performance of this relatively unknown orchestra. Alice Tully Hall is a breathtaking musical arena and a monument to acoustics. Its ominous ceilings and rich wooden walls permit sound to flow and echo endlessly. Those who came early to steal a listen were mesmerized by the resounding brilliance of this structure. Among them, people like Helen Laird, Dean of the Temple University School of Music, Esther Boyer Griswold, and a host of Canadian officials who came to see their native son, Mark Hamelin, take on this city. Moments before the concert, Maestro Louis Biava felt a mixture of excitement and nerves. This was the conductor's New York debut, and as it had turned out, Temple had been given the distinction of being the first university orchestra to play the William Bolcom and George Crumb works in this city.
A little bit nervous because it's New York and we have been waiting, as I said, a long time. But I think helps. Being a little bit nervous helps, and just enough to give the confidence of a good performance.
Crumb and Bolcom, two of the composers, would be present at the concert. Maestro Biava commented on this unique event.
It's a great responsibility first, because the composer is going to be listening and then his own work, and of course the commitment that we have done to prepare this work makes us, all of us, and particularly me, because I'm being the conductor, a little bit making a special evening, really. That makes a very special evening.
And then the performance. Something happened, and it suddenly wasn't just a concert. The nerves, gone. The rehearsals, a memory. What remained was the sheer joy of playing, the intense pleasure of interpreting music. On their feet, bravos and encores echoed through the grandiose hall. The audience roared with approval. As if the applause were not enough, at the post-reception, others were enthusiastically supportive. Peter Liakoris, president of Temple University.
Just amazing that there were 100 musicians there and they came together so beautifully.
Esther Boyer-Griswold.
They are absolutely fantastic, and I think the whole School of Music has a very definite and wonderful future.
And finally, to cap off the exciting evening, Dean Helen Laird announced that Esther Boyer would donate $2 million for a new concert hall on Temple's main campus.
A new concert hall, a spectacular debut, and a musically perfect performance in the city that never sleeps. The Temple Orchestra went to New York as a university ensemble. They left, a dominant university musical entity. They conquered the hardest obstacle of all, not New York City, but their determination for excellence. This little Philly orchestra had made it. Reporting for Temple Update, I'm Paul Biava.